Okay, back in action. Today is Saturday. I think I'm going to try to probably start going live every day. Okay. I'm thinking of doing that and then doing one elemental reading per day because last week was really draining. I did a lot of free readings and did the elemental readings. It took hours and hours and hours. So I'm not going to do that this time. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to jump right into it. You guys can call me Lucky. Welcome to Lucky 7 Tarot and Psalms. What this channel is about is that this has really got a big, strong hoodoo base, Kabbalistic base to the vibration here. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to be able to bring you some elemental tarot readings, and then we're going to add in some psalms. And you're going to see some of the power of Psalms and how the Psalms can affect your life, and also how we can take our readings to the next level by adding sort of a prayerful element where we are actually petitioning the cards or we're petitioning through the cards and we're praying through the read. So let's give it a try. Okay. So this is for the earth element. Anyone that joins in, you're welcome to have a free reading. If you'd like a private reading, starting at $10, you can give me an email at theharlequincafe@gmail.com. If you're interested in purchasing any organic New Orleans coffee, whether that's a medium roast, dark roast, chicory, I can have those bags delivered to your house. Just get in touch. Okay, I also have a delicious chocolate out of Ghana. It's a shade-grown chocolate right out of the rainforest. I mean, it tastes like a cup of flowers once you cook it. It's so incredible. I mean, it's nothing like no chocolate you've ever had before, you know. So you can hook me. You can get in touch, and I'll hook you up with a few different options if you're interested in any of the scorpionic things I have to offer. Okay. All right. So crowning us today is we've got the High Priestess. Okay. And so this is the psalm I'm going to read. So this corresponds with the Hebrew letter Bet. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This with the Hebrew letter Gimel. Okay. And if we turn into Judeo-Christian scriptures, this is my small camouflage long story. We're going to Psalm 119. Okay, now when I pull these major arcana cards that are going to be over the reading, we're going to read the psalm that corresponds with that major arcana card from the Hebraic scriptures. Okay, and we're going to see what kind of insight that has over this entire reading. Okay, so we're doing Psalm 119. We're going to the letter Gimel, the third letter in the Hebrew alphabet. And this, even despite its number 2, is the third card in the classic tarot deck. Okay, so here we are, Psalm 119. Then we see that Psalm 119 is broken up into different sections. Okay. We see right beneath is Psalm 119, then it says Aleph. That's for the first Hebrew letter. Okay, so now we're going to go to Gimel. So this is Psalm 119, 17. This is for you, earth signs. Do good to your servant, and I will live. I will obey your word. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. I am a stranger on earth. I do not hide my commands. My soul is consumed with longing for your laws at all times. You rebuke the arrogant who are cursed and who stray from your commands. Remove the scorn and contempt, for I keep your statutes. Though writers sit together and slander me, your servant, I will meditate on your decrees. And your statutes are my delight and my counselors. Boom. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so remember, that corresponds in the Bible, okay, to the tarot. All right. And any of you who've seen my last video, you know, my house burned down. I had these amazing tarot cards. I'm going to get another deck. I had to order them from the Ukraine, but these are a Bible-based tarot card, and these illustrate different scenarios in the Judeo-Christian scriptures that correspond to the tarot major and minor arcana. It's like pretty awesome, okay? So it takes everything to a whole nother level, and we have to remember that when we're seeing cards like the Judgment, when you're seeing the Devil, when you're seeing the Tower, when you're seeing you know, these kind of apocalyptic cards, these are Bible-based. This is out of the Judeo-Christian scriptures, your tarot cards, okay? And if you don't know, the story is that they were hidden as the Jews who were escaping. Yeah, hi, Sun Rising. If I see you, Sun Rising. Yeah, if you're there, Sun Rising, give you free reading. Let me do my general reading first for the Earth element. Absolutely, okay? But if you check out the Judeo-Christian scriptures, you'll see lots of these tarot, you'll see lots of these cards in here are references to the Judeo-Christian scriptures, okay? So it's pretty fascinating. A lot of people don't seem to realize the depth of what they're working with. You know, there are a lot of Jews who escaped, well, didn't escape, but basically lived and immigrated into Malta. And we had to remember that Malta was, just like Italy in general, was taken over. So as we see these cards emerging out of the 1400s, out of Italy, we have to remember that they have a long, long tradition through the Jews that were escaping and concealing the Torah, you know, concealing the Torah. You see her holding it. Tarot, Torah. You see her holding the Torah, and that's what the tarot cards are. It's concealing a mystery right in plain sight, okay? And now the time has come, and where thousands of people are coming out about it, okay? So here we go. Let's do our Earth sign reading, okay? It's happening to the element of Earth. Calling the Lord God of Earth, Adonai Haaretz, Melkut, Shekinah. Give me your vision. Shekinah, show us your glory. Lord of Shekinah, that you would reveal to us any messages you have for the earth signs and the earth elements. Okay, I shuffle below just because I don't normally have a table, but now I have one, so I'm doing it. All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to go to my classic 9-card spread. This is my modified Celtic cross, if anyone's ever seen that before. And I'm going to show it to you right now. Okay, also with this spread, we've got to consider the financial issues. We've got to consider if we're getting the money you know, we've got to consider illusions in our physical world. We've got to consider things that we've hoped and dreamed for that are probably not panning out to the fruition that we needed. We've got to consider that some things are starting, maybe even slowly, maybe even just by seeds and sprouts, and that we've got to be consistent. And you know, the Page of Pentacles is very similar to the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So he's in this situation, okay? When I see the Ace of Pentacles, I know that that is a seed being planted. When I see the Page of Pentacles reverse, this person is someone who needs to do more work and go further and realize that they've got something that has potential. And they've got to take that potentiality to the next level, okay? So that's something that's crossing this whole reading, in addition to the song we read about being good to your servant. Okay, be good to those people who are beneath you. Be good to those people who are under you, and who are subject to you. All right. Now let's look here. This is my classic. This is my 9-card spread. Okay, and I also have my satellite cards here. Okay, a couple satellite cards. These are not part of that. Now remember, this is what's crossing you, the querent. Okay, this is you, the querent. Okay, right now you've got the Temperance reverse, Earth signs. Okay. Then we're crossed by the 10 of Wands. Okay. You know, some of us struggling to find the healing that we need. Okay. Some of us working hard for that healing and working hard to take things to the next level. At our feet, we've got the Two of Wands reversed. Okay. In our most recent past, we've got the Two of Swords. Okay. A bit of a defensive posture. Well, it actually could be a very allowing and permissible posture. And now we've got coming up to our thoughts and our goals is Justice reverse. Okay. Okay, and then coming to finally, final outcome, we're coming to a bit of a Tower card, an exciting, exhilarating, dramatic moment. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Coming to look at the situation again, got the Nine of Swords. Kind of dealing with the heavy energy, Earth signs. We've got the environment around you, which is the sun. So it's a lot of positive energy. However, I don't see a lot of positivity. Okay, so I think that's really up to the person. Now we've got in the hopes and fears, we've got the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Okay, and finally we've got the the Nine of Cups reversed. Okay, with the Nine of Cups reversed. So what I'm seeing here is I'm definitely seeing some reversals. Okay, I'm definitely seeing now. Sun Rising, I love your name. I have a buddy named Sunseer. And we named his email Sunseer Rising. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so, but you're going to get the benefit of this reading, and then you're going to get the benefit of your private reading. At your private reading, I'm going to cut it off of the video, but you and I are going to be able to sit and chat publicly. But until when the video is over, I'm going to chop all those off. Okay. All right. So you can be private, so you get a free private reading. If you want a private reading, you can email me at theharlequincafe@gmail.com, $10. Okay. All right. Okay. So now crossing in general, and this is, where we're looking at the Temperance card. Now, we're looking at the Temperance card reverse. For me, I'm really considering that, when I see this, I consider this to be really a washing away, almost like someone's come and is trying to wash away some things from the past, some pollution, some toxins. It could be, things around just difficulty and challenges around work, around the work sphere, around home, around things that you've been building, around, projects and construction. Just because this project seems as if it's maybe a bit, I don't want to say stagnant, but is a bit challenging and frustrating. It's a lot of hard work. You're considering if you have to go back to the drawing board or not. You're considering if you've even been stacking your eggs in the right basket. And there might be a potential for you to kind of wash these things away and take your lumber and bricks, so to speak, and kind of start to rebuild a different structure. Okay, you want to, when you're working like this, when we're working like this hard, and we're laboring, and we're kind of trying to see plans come together and just putting the struggle and effort to it, you really want it to pay off. And right now I'm concerned that some of the actions and activities and endeavors are not necessarily going to pay off, or you're looking at them with a bit of suspicion saying, am I really going the right way? Do I really need to stack these all at the top of the hill? Or is the rain just going to wash it out? Okay, so this is a situation where you really want to stop and consider your priorities and consider, am I building my foundation on stone? Am I building my foundation on solid rock? Or are they shifting sands? Okay. Do I have the right thinking? Do I have the right passion? Do I have the right direction? Okay. Or all these things that I think that, I think I'm winning, but is it fleeting? You have to ask yourself, is it fleeting? And are these just shifting sands where after a while, you're going to realize all those things that you've set up are just starting to tip over. Okay. In the recent past, we've got potentially linking up in the business world, bringing worlds together that are either in the business world, maybe financial, maybe legal worlds, maybe trying to link up with some ideas. But there is definitely an element of mystery and caution here where it's almost like an agreement is made, but it's a tentative agreement. Okay, so tentative agreements have been made in the past, and you don't really necessarily know how they're going to play out. You don't necessarily know, is that person trustworthy? Is that person going to fully come out? There's a certain mystique about the person or whatever party that you've linked up with. Now, again, this is in the element of air. So we're talking about that you could be linking up with someone with the air energy, but you can also be linking up with someone who is just related to legal, business, intellect, travel, things like that. Trying to build these partnerships, to take you to the next level. But again, you've got to deal with the shifting sand, and we're still considering that tower coming up. Okay, your goals are to, I feel like some of your goals are to win at all odds and to just kind of come out against some adversity. But the question is that, is it going to be fair? It's one thing to win, but is it fair and just? So, when I'm looking here, combine this justice card, when I'm looking at temperance, and I'm going to just talk about them as combinations now, not necessarily in reverse like they are, but even talking about them in combinations, we have to realize that we are talking about a powerful divine observation and judgment right now. Okay, we've got powerful entities perhaps observing and watching and considering the steps that are being taken, and considering the karma that's going to come up about these things. And if we're healing karma, or if we're healing the karmic debts, or if we're incurring karmic debts, and not only do you want to heal karmic debts, you want to have some karmic stuff reserved. You want to have a buildup of karma, right? So right now we still have some serious concerns. Okay, now this is in your goals. Coming up to the future is we're seeing a big shakeup. Okay, we're seeing a big shakeup. Now this can be a shakeup. This can be a shakeup in your health. Okay. When we talk about the temperance card, there can be a shakeup in, I'll say relationships, but not necessarily like romance relationships. It could be a shakeup in family relationships. It could be a shakeup in what your whole concept of what is sound and what's balanced and what's right. Okay, you may have lots of a certain mental shakeup from the stress and the work that you've been doing. Okay, it may be pushing you too much. Okay, you may be going too hard. Okay, you may be really trying to swim in quicksand a little bit. It may seem like you're treading water, but it's by nature quicksand. Okay, so we've got to consider some of that stuff, and all the work and the effort that you're putting in. Is it really paying off? And is it really going to help you in this tower situation? Especially if we're talking about an imbalance in thoughts. Okay, imbalance in hopes and goals and dreams of justice and our perception of justice and what should be right. Okay, we've got a wake-up call coming, I feel like. Okay, it's like a wake-up call. It's like, boom, that's not really what you thought. What you thought was up is not up, and what you thought is down is not down. They could be reversed. They could be something totally different altogether. When we're looking at the situation, we're reviewing that. The situation. Now I'm going to show you the spread again, so you guys can learn how I'm reading this spread. Okay. So now we've gone through the classic Celtic cross. We went through the. Where's my? So that I want. Okay, so we're coming here through the situation of basically us and our issue. This is what is at our feet and in our hands to work with. We're coming here to our most recent past, to our goals, and then we come to the more immediate future coming up. Okay, this is more in a physical, tangible thing. Especially when I see the tower here, we know that this might be something in the material world that's kind of working out. Okay, now we come down here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we think of the 4 archangels and the 4 elemental quadrants, and we think of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and we think of the Wheel of Fortune, of course, and we see Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, and Michael all sitting around the throne of God, which is what this is supposed to represent. Okay, more or less the Merkaba. Okay, so we've got that element, and that is really the situation, the environment, the hopes and fears, and the outcome. The reason I like this 9-card spread is because now I can look from the environment and understand how the environment relates to the outcome. I can look at the situation at hand and see how that relates to the outcome. I can see how that relates to my hopes and fears, and I can see how that relates to the environment. Okay, so I like this 9-card spread because I can start to read it this way, this way, this way, up and down, up and down. I can do diagonals, etc. Okay, we're also looking at the more subconscious world, the more formative world, and the more or the more world manifestation, and then the more world of formation. Okay. All right. Okay. So now in this situation, the situation is really a lot of talk. Okay. A lot of gossip and a lot of issues where people are actually starting to, I would say, whispers. Okay. And some of these whispers hurt. And some of these whispers are actually barbs and daggers. And they're coming in and a level of suspicion, maybe even around you. Or I didn't want to make this negative. I'm maybe a little bit biased against earth signs, but we've got to consider some things are coming that are going to be stressful and difficult. Okay. Some mental burdens and psychological responsibilities that are going to be heavy to deal with and heavy to face. Okay. That's the environment right now, or that's the situation right now. The environment is the sun. The environment should be supplying you with everything that you need. The environment should be giving you everything that you need. Okay. Okay. Sun rising. I see. Oh, Merkaba, yeah. Okay. Oh, you're not even here. Okay. So the sun, moon rising. What am I talking about? The sun rising here is, you're saying that there should be energy. There should be success. This is something you can tap into. I don't know why these cards are coming out this way, especially if there's this golden, radiant solar energy shining on you. But this also means revelation, okay, and a spotlight, and that the spotlight might be on you, and the spotlight might be on the work that you're doing, okay? And we have to consider, are people satisfied with your work? Are people satisfied with the work that you've been doing? And just because you've been working, have you been productive? Or have you been working and just been busy? Okay, it's just busy work, but not really that much product coming out of it. Okay, and your hopes and fears is, we see whenever in this position in my readings, I always read these as in a particular position, and because it's reversed, I always read it as a fear. Okay, if anything is in my hopes and fears, it's either a hope, upside, right side up, or a fear, regardless of the traditional interpretation of the card. Okay, so now I see this is that your concerns that things aren't coming together, concerns that things that were coming together are starting to separate. And when you had your world together and you felt like you were on top of things, that it might be starting to come apart and starting to shake at the seams, and you're feeling like, as some people, as you see those the movies about the guys in rocket ships, and they're going into space, and they hit these turbulence as they start to get into the atmosphere. Before they get to the outer atmosphere, they start to get these turbulence, all the like air particles and all those things. And remember, when we're blasting off, it takes all that fuel just to get out of the atmosphere, and that's like a startup. Like you need that startup fuel, you need that startup capital to get yourself going. You might have had that startup capital, but something towards the end it's not starting. You're afraid it's not going to be working out. You're afraid the stuff's going to be. You're starting to see stuff coming apart at the seams. Okay, now it may hold together. Okay, because this is just a fear. It may hold together, and you may be able to hold it together, especially if you're able to tap into the solar radiant energy. Okay, there is divine karmic stuff happening here that should be happening in a certain time, in a certain sequence, and but there's a block. Okay, there's this guardian, this person who doesn't really know. They're more suspicious. You can't be suspicious. You have to be allowing. Okay, you have to be allowing. What I'm not seeing here are lots of court cards. Okay, so for me, I recognize the court cards usually as being specific people. I don't always recognize the major arcana as being specific people. I will, however, recognize them as being energetic forces that could be earthly or supernatural or netherworld or whatever. Okay. But I'm not seeing necessarily lots of other people in here that are influencing what's going on. A lot of the stuff has to do with you. A lot of the stuff has to do with bad alignment, and bad timing with things, and not necessarily having the spiritual power to manifest the things that you want. And it is a little bit like dabbling. Okay, a little bit like playing in the water instead of like really going there and making a big difference, and really like washing yourself or renewing yourself or hydrating yourself is just kind of like splashing around, and not having that big visionary moment. So now we're coming to the, from the Wheel of Fortune reverse, we're coming to the sorry, not the Two of Cups. We're coming to the Nine of Cups reverse. It's so tiny, I'm trying to read it. Okay, we're coming to the Nine of Cups reverse. All right, so this could just be saying that things are taking a while. It doesn't mean that they're not coming. It doesn't mean that the fulfillment and the success and the happiness and all your wishes are not coming true, are not going to come true. However, it does make me think that you've had wishes and hopes and dreams that just have not been in sync. Okay, you've had wishes and hopes and dreams and things that you've been working for and things that you've been trying to manifest that maybe aren't really what you think. They're not as lucrative, they're not as satisfying, they're not as stable as you thought. Okay, it's really not as of a good investment as you thought in your time and energy, and now that's something that maybe you have to cope with. And that, okay, well, it does not mean that you lost those rods and the bricks and the things that you've done, but it may mean that you need to look away from that shifting sand and start to find something that is solid. Okay, this means, at your feet is that, you are not going on that grand adventure. You are not going and rolling out on some global domination kind of thing. You need to stop. You need to see, where are you stuck? Where are you stuck in your life? Where's that little bracket that won't let go? That little bracket that won't let go of that second wand. Okay. And we also see that this other wand he's holding is not as tall as the other one, is it? It's not all that it looks like, guys. Okay. It may seem conceptually cool, but we have to consider the execution. Okay, I'm seeing that the energy and the environment. Now I'm going to bring it down here. We're going to do some crossing, and I'm about to start this reading for rising, sun rising. Okay, so now I see the environment should be rich with energy for you. Okay, it should be rich with energy. You have lots of energy to do this thing. Okay, but it may not, and maybe it's just a lot of work. And it's, again, just because you have lots of energy and you're busy doesn't mean that you're being productive, because here I'm not seeing productivity. I'm not seeing success. I'm not seeing satisfaction. Okay, I'm seeing isolation. Okay, I'm seeing someone who is, not getting the highest hopes and, just kind of being like, someone who it's like almost like, oh, I thought you were really interesting, but you're not really that interesting after all. Like, you're just kind of like, so something kind of falling flat. Some kind of idea and goal that just seems like it's falling flat here. Okay, now we've got to look at the situation and those whispers and those cutting comments and the kind of like adversarial energy toward you. And there's a block. There is a wall that you're trying to put up against these things, but that's not, it's not beneficial, because you're not able to wash all of this stuff away and focus on the greater priority, which is your personal success, your personal happiness, but your personal happiness and how it fits in with everyone else and everything going on. Okay, your personal happiness has to come in with correct alignment and correct goals. So right now I see that there is definitely some maybe sleepless nights. Okay, worry, doubt, frustration, attack. Okay, now we're looking here and we see that it's the Three of Swords, the separation energy. I see 1, 2, 3 swords that pierce this person, especially one in the mind, one in the mouth, and the eyes and senses, and one in the heart. Okay, now I've got the Five of Swords, this conflict above. I'm sorry, the Six of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we've got the Six of Swords. We're talking about, stuff's just not together. People, the material world is not together. And so that's making, just the fact that the material world is not together and that all of these details need to be done. This is what's making that kind of catty energy, is that stuff isn't getting done. Stuff isn't getting done. Stuff isn't getting addressed properly. Okay, now moving from the past into the future, we see that this posture of, okay, I'm going to align myself with someone, with some energy, and kind of try to make it work. It's just too hodgepodge. Okay, it's just not guaranteed. It's just not guaranteed. It's not solid. Okay, because what we have here is this stuff starting to fall apart. Okay, and we have a washing away of all this false start. Okay, we need to have like a solid start. And then, and again, like I'm just going back to the business startup analogy. It's like starting this business, so for instance, like, I'm doing this stuff online, and this tarot thing right now. And you start this business and you're like, well, yeah, I'm going to get all these viewers. And I'm going to have these people like, oh, they're going to write me and they're going to get, I'm going to give them personal readings, blah, blah, blah. And, and then it just falls flat, or you're like, oh, it's a lot of work. And, oh, I've only got 1 or 2 people and they're consistent or not consistent. And, oh, my internet's down, and, oh, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. So, it's just getting to the real brass tacks of what's beneath the surface, and peeling it up and seeing what's really there. Okay. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you would like an extended reading, I can continue to go further. I can do personal readings for you. Give me a email at theharlequincafe@gmail.com. And you can also, you can book me for that. And you can also see some of my delicious New Orleans products, and order them, and get them on subscription and get them all the time, especially if you like coffee like me. Okay, so sunrising has left the building, but sunrising will be back in just a moment. There's sunrising, I think. Hey, Sunny Sun, is that you?